Let's start by you telling me about your role and background at Eversource Energy.
I've had the opportunity to be in this industry for the entirety of my career, for 22 years, starting right out of college with, at the time, what was Anderson Consulting, starting on a big, long bonding project with Customer One, and while I was at Southern Company. And that's where I built a lot of the relationships that I still have in the industry today. From that, a few of us left and started the Structure Group, and we followed those waves of deregulating energy markets in the late 90s. So I got to work in the California markets, Texas, and Canada, and some of the center of the country. So Brazos Electric Cooperative and some places where you could see some beautiful thunderstorms in the middle of the night along those flats. But after many years of traveling, I decided that I wanted to stop traveling. So then I moved up to Boston, and where I worked for NStar Electric, which is now a part of Eversource, the company I'm a part of now. In the middle there, I did take a 6-month round-the-world trip sabbatical with those 500,000 frequent flyer miles, and I hit a number of the top 10 treks in the world. It's very grounding and really helps when you come back to the United States, valuing what we have, from running water to medicine to access to healthcare and, of course, electricity. So after landing back in Boston, and I'm from Connecticut, I spent about 5 years there where I met my husband, and I was the director of IT for all of the customer applications and the energy supply applications. My husband pulled me down to New Haven, and so I left in very good terms with NStar. They actually helped me find my connections into Connecticut Light and Power at the time, which was not connected to Eversource then. I spent about 5 years at Connecticut Light and Power. I was director of enterprise strategy, and then I ran the smart metering pilots in the mid-2000s, in the late 2000s actually. A few years later, we merged. So the Boston company, NStar Electric, and Connecticut Light and Power, Northeast Utilities became Eversource. So since then, I've had a few roles, but as of about 2 years ago, I moved into become the Vice President of Customer Operations over meter reading, field collections, billing, the call centers, and credit and collections, and I have the pleasure of working for Penny Counter.
How do you define employee engagement?
So employee engagement to me is the most important thing that I personally can get right in my career. When I think about the legacy that I want to leave, it's really leaving a legacy of where people have felt they want to come into work, or that they feel their ideas and their thoughts are sought after, their solutions are valued, and that even if we don't take their recommendations and take action, that we've very respectfully considered them and then followed through, close the loop with our employees. So I think creating that culture really helps make the world a little bit of a better place for the 1,300 people that I have on my team, and everyone around them. So I feel I feel it's a very big, it's an obligation, and I value and cherish that I have this role where I can protect so many people in creating very respectful behavior towards each other and setting expectations about what is acceptable versus not for how we treat each other every day.
What's special about your customer service employees?
So my customer operations employees, they have a deep relationship with each other, and I don't know how unique that is compared to other places, but our frontline employees, they know each other, they've worked together for a very long time, so often it's 20 or 30 years, people stay more than that. We have a woman who we just celebrated a 40th year with the company recently, so there's a deep kind of family feeling and it's locational within our 3 states. So that can be a strength, or is a strength in many ways. It's been a challenge as we break through, changing policies and getting to one set of Eversource policies and practices. But I would say our people, they also communicate with me and tell me when I'm doing a good job and not. So I get handwritten notes from employees saying, thank you so much for taking the time to share that information with us, or Thank you so much for following through with us. But I also get the occasional invite from our frontline customer service reps to say, can I spend 15 minutes with you? And I openly take those meetings, and they want to share, here's what we could be doing better, right? And so I love that passion and that safe space that we've been able to create. And I get that that showing up, being present, but physically in person, I've never had a role where you get as many points for showing up. So I know our employees value that, and I make sure that I spend a good amount of time getting that face time with our people.
How are you engaging employees in new ways?
So we're looking for every innovative way possible to reward and recognize our employees and respectfully, iteratively, structure listening for our employees. But starting on the rewards and recognition, we've done a number of things in our call center area in the last year and a half. Some things that might have felt smaller, but we had some officer parking spots and close to the building. And I travel across the 3 states, and I know that our employees would want to be sitting, parking closer to the building. So we started this model call award. So every month we have a top and a runner-up model call award for the call center, and the top people get either their pick of the parking spot and a half day off or a day off as well. So we get a combination depending on which location, because those parking spots can be valued. But we come by and take pictures, and we have balloons, and we did get some feedback that we embarrass them a little bit too much sometimes, so we're ratcheting that back a bit. But that visible reward and recognition, and them knowing that I listen to those calls. I get a CD with the model call award winners every month, along with a number of other executives. I listen to it on the many hours of driving, and for them to know that the top of the house is hearing their voice, I think that's really important. Another example of rewards and recognition we've started, it sounds, again, small, but I think these things matter. Little updates. We're not allowed to call them newsletters because the company has the overall newsletter, but a little update from all of our managers, from most of our managers now, to their frontline people, where it's recognizing milestone anniversaries, promotions, retirements, and then slices of awesomeness. So I consistently encourage my leadership team to find the slices of awesomeness. What happened last month, last week that employee did, or that your group did, so that you can share that and build that positive energy with their people. That's been going really, really well. And actually now our employees, our managers and supervisors have started to share those ideas and amplify each other's good ideas. The last example I'll give is we started Cups of Awesomeness, and they're literally called Cups of Awesomeness. Our authenticity, and it is important for our employees for us to be down to earth. So actually that kind of kitschy naming of Cups of Awesomeness I loved, and one of our managers came up with that. So Rocky Solomon, if she's watching this. But it's a big, ostentatious, gold cup, and it's with a little plaque that tells the employees why they got that. But we made it big so when people walk by, others can stop by and say, oh, what did you get this for? And it creates a little bit more positive momentum there.